I'm like having the hardest time focusing right now because I just got that Urban Decay the Motherload palette. Like Frank, my UPS guy, just brought it down, and I just want to, like, I don't know, stare at it. But I'm gonna do some swatches on the new Revlon. What are they called? The Revlon Lacquer Balms and then the matte balms. I have one of the Lacquer Balms on my lips right now, and then too, if you guys are wondering about the makeup that I have on, I did a look and like first impressions type review on this here palette. I think it should be up before this one or after, I don't know. In any event, I'll link it down below if you're interested in that. But let's jump into the let's jump into the Lacquer Balms here first. So I'll start off with the 5 pinker shades on the pinker end of the spectrum, and then the other 5, because there's 10 Lacquer Balms and there's 10 matte balms. So I'll do the 5 pink ones, and then the reddish orange brown ones are the other 5. So we'll just get started with the shade that I'm wearing, which is 110 Coquette. And I'm going to get a little closer to the camera here, but just keep in mind my camera does pick up colors very true to color, and my skin is pretty pale, so you guys should be able to see it pretty well, but I'm going to get a little closer here for you guys. So the top one is number 110 Coquette. The second one is 120 Vivacious Exuberante. The third one is 125 Flirtatious Charmeuse. The fourth one is 105 Demure Reserve. And the fifth one on the very bottom is 115 Whimsical Fantasiste. I think, but they do have all 5 of these have some shimmer or sparkle to them, and then they are the Lacquer Balms, the pinker ones. This one is a bit of a nudier shade there. So here are the other 5 Lacquer Balms, the ones that are on the more brown or orange side, I suppose. The first one on the very top is 140 Coy Timid. The second one is 150 Enticing Desirable. The third one down is 145 Ingenue or Ingenue. The fourth one down is 130 Tease Seductress. And the very last one on the bottom is 135 Provocateur. And these ones all have a little bit of a shimmer in them as well. So those are the other 5 Lacquer Balms. So those are the 5 swatches of the Lacquer Balms. I have been wearing them kind of off and on and off for the past couple days since I've had them or been slapping them on or, you know, toying around with them and stuff. I do feel that the Lacquer Balms have more moisturization than the matte balms, which I'll get into those ones here in a minute as well. But they're not exceptionally moisturizing like a chapstick type lip balm would be, but they are more moisturizing than a lot of lipstick type products with as much pigmentation as those ones have for a balm type of product. So I do like them. I really like the glossy finish on the lips. They do remind me of the Urban Decay super saturated pencils. They're not as saturated obviously as the Urban Decay ones, but they have that same type of there's a hair floating here. They have that same type of feel on the lips, not quite as thick feeling as those and not quite as pigmented, but they are nice and comfortable to wear on the lips, which I do like that about the Lacquer Balms. So now let's get into the matte balms, which there are 10 of those too, and I'll split them up into 5s. The brighter shades and then the deeper shades, and I'll swatch them on my arms for you guys. So here are the first 5 matte balms. The first one on the top is 245 Audacious. The second one is 220 Showy. The third one is 235 Mischievous. The fourth one is 210 Unapologetic. I'm just now realizing that the bottom word is in a different language. And I was repeating that. Anyway, and the very last one is 240 Striking. So those ones there pack quite a bit of pigmentation, and they are really, really pretty colors. Let's see here. Yeah, they're picking up quite true in the viewfinder. This one here I think might be a little bit brighter in person. That's what those look like. So here are the last 5 matte balms. The one on the top is 205 Elusive. The second one, the deep purple, is 215 Shameless, and that particular shade, if you can see there, it kind of can be a little patchy, not quite as opaque in consistency like some of the other ones. But the third one is 250 Standout. The fourth one is 225 Sultry. That one is a little bit like the 215, the purple Shameless one, the second one from the top, in consistency, where it's can go a little bit patchy. You kind of have to go over it a few times. And then the very last one is 230 Complex, which is kind of a nude shade. I really love the top shade, 205. It's a super, well, they're all really pretty colors, but I'm particularly fond of that 205 shade. So there are the rest of the matte balms. So a little bit of my thoughts on the matte balms are, there was a few shades that were a little bit inconsistent with the majority of the 10. So like I think I pointed them out, the 2 shades that went on a little bit patchy. You had to go over them a few times, and then that deep purple shade, it was a little bit more troublesome to get the full color throughout your lips. I was going to do them, like swatch them all on my lips, which probably would have took a while, but my lips are kind of chapped in the middle, and doing that probably would have really tore them up, so I just opted to do swatches. But the texture of the matte balms is that of like a real silicone-y primer. Did you ever like take something like Professional or something with a lot of dimethicone in it and put it between your fingers and go like this? That is what it feels like on the lips. That real slippery texture, which I'm assuming if I didn't peel all the labels off, I could have got the ingredients in check, but it really has that feel, which I think is what makes them being matte also comfortable on the lips, because I think it is full of some form of silicones or dimethicone or something like that that gives it that slip while being able to retain that matte finish on the lips. I didn't find the matte balms to be particularly moisturizing. Like, I didn't feel like, you know, I was giving my lips a treat by using one. I just kind of felt like they performed kind of like the mass majority of lipsticks. They, you know, they provided good color. They lasted fairly decent for the length of time that I had them. I would say, depending on the shade, the lighter ones a little less than the deeper ones, but I would say they last around 4 or 5 hours, which is pretty good. I've been wearing, well, this is a glossy one, and I've been wearing this for, I've had this on my lips for about 4 hours. So, but back to the matte balms. I really think that they have some form of silicones or something like that in there. They have that texture. So if you take like one of those primers like that and go like this, that's the texture that they have on the lips. And I did pick up all 20 of them. I got them at CVS because they were buy one get one 50% off, and I had like 20 bucks extra bucks or something. So I went in and I grabbed a pile, and then I left, and I was like, wow, there's only 6 left and I have another coupon. So I went back and got them all. So that's what happened there. None of the shades to me, just because that's just how I am, I'll wear any of the shades, I guess. I like the matte ones. As far as matte lipsticks or matte coloring is concerned, those are very comfortable to wear on the lips. Like I said, they didn't feel hydrating, and by the end of a good use of wear, if I didn't put a balm or anything on my lips in between, then it would feel like my lips could use a little bit of a treatment by the end of the day when wearing those. The glossy one, I think, wears a little bit more hydrating. That again is the nature of a glossier product anyway. I don't think that it necessarily has a bunch of, you know, treats for your lips in it or anything like that, but they do feel a little bit less drying than the other ones. Not that those are drying, but they're not hydrating either. So in any event, those are my opinions on those. I know people were raving about them and stuff like that, and I was real excited to get my hands on them. I'm quite excited about the glossy balms because they really remind me of the Urban Decay Super Saturated. Like I said, not as saturated in color, but they're not as thick as those either. So I like them. I really like the glossy ones. The matte ones too, for matte lipsticks, they wore really comfortably on the lips, but like again, they weren't hydrating. So I'll just run, if I could only have 5, I'm going to pick my top 5 that I would choose out of the bunch, which would be, I've got 3 matte ones that I really like the colors of, and it's these ones right here, is 210, 220, and 205. It'd be Elusive, Showy, and Unapologetic for the matte balms. These three here, I really like these in color. I like the other ones too, but if I could only have 5. And then the 2 glossy ones, I just really love the colors of these, is 105 Demure and 110 Coquette, which this is the one that I'm wearing right here. And then too, what I was going to say, if there's like a color that you wish was one way or the other, these, both the glossy and the mattes together, or, you know, separate, or however, all between the whole 20 in the range, they mix and match, and you can customize the color and the finish. Awesome. I was doing that the other day. I put a color on, I put a lip liner on, and I was wearing a certain eye look, and I was like, well, it's too much this color, so I grabbed another one, and I think it was a glossy one over a matte one, and it just switched up the color to exactly how I wanted it. It wasn't too matte, and it wasn't extra glossy, but I like custom did the color of it and the finish, which is pretty cool that I can interchange them so easily, and they just kind of mesh. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the lacquer balms and the matte balms from Revlon. I do like them, and for the price, I think they're not a bad lip product out there on the market. Then again, Revlon does do lip products pretty well. So I'm going to stop rambling about those there. Would you guys be interested in some form of video on the Motherlode palette? I wasn't sure if it would be a informative video because it is all 68 shades of the permanent shadows from when they reformulated their eyeshadows. So, you know, so they've been out for a while, but they're all in one shot there. I don't know how I'd go about doing, you know, a video on it, or if it would be helpful to people or anything like that. So, some opinions would be awesome, or some feedback would be cool. So, yeah, that's all I got for this video. Again, I'll put a link for the eye makeup that I got on in this video, or the palette or whatever down below if you're interested in that. But otherwise, thank you guys ever so kindly for watching. Do not forget to wear sunscreen, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.